Yvonne Strahovski is best known for her role as Serena Joy in The Handmaid's Tale, where she quickly became famous and earned an Emmy nomination in 2018. She has also appeared in other projects, such as Dexter as Hannah McKay, and in films like The Predator and The Tomorrow War. Her rise to fame has been impressive, making her a well-known figure in Hollywood. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Yvonne Strahovski. Her first language was Polish. Yvonne Strahovski was born on July 30, 1982, in Sydney, Australia, to Polish immigrant parents. As an only child, she was a straight-A student who loved school, homework, and being a model student, which she humorously described as a nerdy, geeky part of herself. In addition to her schoolwork, she took Polish lessons every Saturday because it was her first language and her family spoke it at home. Her strong language skills likely helped her perfect her American accent, which many consider flawless. Even after leaving home, Strahovski has kept her Polish roots and can still speak the language fluently. She studied dancing as a child. Yvonne Strahovski always had a love for the arts, especially acting and dancing. She studied dance from the age of 5 until she was 18, and though she chose to focus on acting, her dance skills helped her in her career. She explained that her memory for choreography made it easy for her to perform fight scenes in Chuck, which became one of her favorite parts of the job. She has also shown off her dance skills in her career, including Stateless, where her character had dancing scenes. She studied acting at the University of Western Sydney. After finishing school, Yvonne Strahovski decided to pursue acting and enrolled in the University of Western Sydney's acting program. The program combined acting theory with practical classes, and in the final year, students performed in 2 shows. In an interview, Strahovski explained that the program was mostly focused on stage acting, so when she graduated, she felt unprepared for camera work, even though most of her auditions were for on-screen roles. She worked odd jobs to make ends meet. Things weren't exactly easy for Yvonne Strahovski during her time at drama school. She worked various jobs, like waitressing and ushering at a movie theater, to support herself. She found waitressing satisfying, saying, "It was kind of like going to the gym for 10 hours. It felt very satisfying after a hard day's work." She started acting in commercials and TV in Australia. After graduating from drama school, Yvonne Strahovski began her acting career in Australia, working in TV shows and commercials, including ads for razors, Pepsi, and paper. She also appeared in the TV show Headland for 2 seasons. Since her drama school focused on stage acting, Strahovski didn't have much camera experience. She explained that these early jobs became her on-the-job training for screen acting, where she learned as she went. Although she hadn't planned to move to the US so soon, Strahovski visited Hollywood for the pilot season with friends, found an American manager, and quickly started to land roles. She moved to Los Angeles in 2007 and got her big break within 3 days. Yvonne Strahovski's acting career in Australia lasted 3 years, but everything changed after one key audition. Her American manager sent her a script for Chuck, and within 3 days of arriving in the US for the audition, she got the role. At first, she thought she'd return to Australia soon, but when the pilot of Chuck was picked up, she decided to stay in the US. She realized she needed to settle down. She told Stuff, "I realized I probably should rent a proper place because I was living in a shoebox studio apartment and rented 8 cars by that point from a Hollywood rental place." She changed the spelling of her name. When Yvonne Strahovski moved to America and got a role in Chuck, she was on her way to Hollywood stardom. However, she had to make a tough decision about her name. Her real last name is Strahovski, but her management team suggested changing it to something more Hollywood-friendly, like Yvonne Stryker. In the end, she decided to keep her last name, but changed the spelling to make it easier to pronounce. She explained that she understood why it needed to be simpler, and the phonetic spelling helped people say it correctly while still keeping her real name. The Handmaid's Tale was a life-changing experience for her. One of Yvonne Strahovski's biggest roles came in 2017 when she starred in Hulu's hit show, The Handmaid's Tale, as Serena Joy, a wealthy but barren wife using a surrogate handmaid to try to become a mother. Playing Serena Joy was a challenge for Strahovski because the character was harsh, unapproachable, and brutal, qualities she found difficult to relate to. She eventually saw Serena as an empty shell. Despite the difficulty, she delivered a powerful performance, becoming a standout villain on the show. Her portrayal earned her an Emmy nomination for the second season. For her, Canadian nature was like therapy while shooting The Handmaid's Tale. Yvonne Strahovski appreciated playing Serena Joy in The Handmaid's Tale, but it was tough for her to portray such a cruel character. She described Serena as a monster and found it hard to shake off the character's mindset when she wasn't filming. To relax and clear her head, Strahovski found peace in Canada's nature, where the show was filmed. She visited lakes, national parks, and places like Algonquin Park and Nova Scotia, calling these outdoor escapes her therapy. She had to relearn her Australian accent. Yvonne Strahovski returned to Australia in 2018 to work on the film Angel of Mine, which was shot in Melbourne. It was her first time back in the country in 3 years. Despite being born and raised in Australia, Strahovski had to relearn her Australian accent because she had spent so much time in the US. She admitted that it was now harder for her to speak with an Australian accent than an American one. In an interview on Late Night with Seth Meyers, she said, "I feel so un-Australian saying that it's harder to do the Australian accent now than it is to do the American one. I've spent 12 years here, and most of my roles, in fact all of them except 3, have been in an American accent of some kind."